Welcome back to All Day Sports. I'm Tim.
I'm Dallas.
I'm Carter.
I'm Nate.
We're going to do our Week 2 review. In our top 10 power rankings, we got contenders or pretenders, slump or dump, and would you rather with his boy Dax. So we'll go ahead and get started.
What a goat.
What do you guys think about anything specific you want to throw out about Week 2?
I mean, I think the Browns really need to win that game because they need to win every game possible before Deshaun comes back, and now it's just a choke job.
They got the Steelers tonight. They really got to take that game.
If they could win tonight, it's just that Jets loss was just bad.
It's bad. Well, you got to think if they can, if they're above 500 when Deshaun comes back, they're looking really good.
That division's kind of up for grabs. I think the Ravens will win, but they're like that, like the second place team.
Well, if they're even a game behind the Ravens when Deshaun comes back, they still have that chance.
Even the Bengals are looking bad right now. Steelers, Mitch is looking bad. They're just not looking that good.
Yeah, I think the Steelers are going to take it tonight fairly easily.
I don't know about fairly easily.
That's a good take. I mean,
TJ Watt's out.
The Browns' defense isn't like their secondary. I thought was going to be more elite.
So what do we got for score prediction?
I'll say 28-14.
All right.
I think it's going to be a really low-scoring game.
I can see 17-14.
Yeah,
17-10 Browns.
I'm gonna go 2017 Browns.
21-14. Can go Browns? I think the Browns are going to play better.
Yeah. I'll say 28-17 Steelers.
I think that Browns roster is too good to not perform at this point.
And I think TJ Watt being out is going to be a huge difference.
It just depends how well they can run the ball against the Steelers' run defense.
Yeah,
and honestly, how well they can pass the ball.
He's awesome. So.
Yeah, it just depends. For Amari Cooper, and I guess if they can just move the ball against the Steelers, and that's all they need.
Yeah, with the Week 2 review, there's been a good amount of injuries to start the year. Like Trey Lance out for the season, Taylor Lewan's out for the season. Some other players getting knick-knack injuries here and there.
Yeah.
It's going to happen every year. You have to expect it, but it just sucks.
Just beat down by the Bills, which I didn't think we were going to beat nearly as bad as we did.
10 points.
I saw it being a closer game because of just how we play offense. We keep the game pretty close no matter who we play usually. And
maybe how you go 3-0.
It's just...
You didn't give you your birthday spankings for that one.
Yeah, it's just bad. It's got beat. So,
we're
going to our top 10 power rankings. We're the Rams at 10. Still Super Bowl champions. They still have the best the best defensive player and the best corner in the league.
Maybe last year.
Trayvon Diggs.
Trayvon Diggs is better.
This point he is.
Yeah. But Carter, talk about 9, his team.
All I want to say about the Vikings is we're fine. Kirk always is bad on Monday night for some
weird reason.
As long as you're not playing on Monday.
I know. But I thought the Eagles just played like we thought they would before this season, like how just a balanced roster they have. And Hurts is looking as good as ever. He's actually looking better than I thought he would look this year. So
you're a huge Hurts believer too.
And he's looking better than I thought. He just looks so composed. He's like Allen. I want to say he's not as good as Allen, but he looks like so much more composed than last year. Like Allen. Like they're just.
Well, he's throwing the ball when he needs to, and when he runs, he's scoring.
Exactly.
He looks really, really
good.
Like
350 yards.
I think everybody expected him to take that jump into the top 14 to 8 kind of range. Yeah. But he's taking that jump into potentially the top 5, 8 to 5.
Yeah,
he could. Yeah.
So we'll see. I think
arguably MVP contention at this point.
I just believe in him. I mean, he's had a lot of adversities. I mean, gotten benched at Alabama, sat behind Tua for a year, and then he's like, then he knew he could do it, so he went to Oklahoma, played well, and then still got kind of doubted into the draft. He almost fell to the 3rd round.
Yeah.
I think he just worked hard. So.
Yeah, he's a stud. But speaking of Tua, we got the Dolphins at 8, coming off that comeback win against the Ravens. Tua looks. I mean, he looked great. I mean, 6 touchdowns, 74% completion percentage, something like that.
Yeah.
It's crazy that you can't just look over a game like that. He's still got the little worries that we all know, but I'm believing in him. I think that I was thinking if the Dolphins might be a playoff team. I think they're definitely a wild card team now for sure. I think they'll sneak in for sure. So
with how bad the Broncos are playing and other teams that we thought like the Bengals, I think the Bengals can get it together, but. It's going to be a lot harder now starting 0-2 because, I mean, you start the season with 2 losses, you're automatically behind everybody.
Yep, exactly.
It's not easy to come back.
49ers at 7. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. They're just a super talented, loaded roster. Trey got hurt, which sucks, but
Still got one of the
You
best
know, they-
defenses in the league.
Yeah, and Jimmy Garoppolo, he's got him to the Super Bowl. He's got him to an NFC championship, not an AFC championship, but I think they're fine. I think this is going to help Garoppolo's value this offseason. He might be the number one quarterback in free agency, unless Lamar.
Yeah.
I doubt
We'll see. We'll see what happens. That's an interesting one.
Miami.
That's
Speaking of
so
Lamar,
good.
Would you still trade Lamar for Tua at this point?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then at 6,
Oh,
we
yeah,
have the
really.
Ravens. Again, Lamar, he's top 5. He just looks
Top three.
great.
Top three.
I mean, he played as good as he almost
Top
pretty
three,
much
but
as- but not 2 or 3. But he played as good as he pretty much could have against the Dolphins
Yeah, he
and
played
still
amazing.
lost with four all-purpose touchdowns, like what, 400 all-purpose yards. He's great.
Yeah, he was efficient also.
Bucks at 5. You know, they still have Brady. Their offense has been a little shaky the first few weeks, but their defense has looked
Their defense
lights
looks
out. It's looked
stunning.
amazing.
It
So,
was expected for that offense to be shaky without Godwin, though.
yeah.
And Mike
Evans will
with that
be out this
suspension.
week.
And then just the changes on the O-line also.
Yep.
It's
a lot of changes in the O-line.
Yeah, it's
Brady's
just
gonna
a
need some time to adjust.
it's just
He
a
looks a little
transition
shaky,
period.
too.
It's not like they're playing
It's
awful,
yeah.
but they're limping at
It's exactly like Brady's first year in Tampa.
Literally.
It took him a few weeks to get comfortable, but
Well, they're still 2-0, so
exactly. 4, we have the Eagles. We were talking about Hurts earlier. That team is loaded, man. They've got talent everywhere. Darius Slay had 2 picks. It's
on some bad balls.
2 picks is 2 picks, man.
yeah. Yes, Kirk Cousins was horrible, but he still played.
Got to give credit where credit's due.
He was amazing.
He picks ain't 2 picks to Trayvon Diggs though.
Because Darius Slay was guarding Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, not Kenny Galladay.
Yeah.
We got the Chargers at 3. They took a loss to the Chiefs, but in a good game. Herbert got hurt, but I think they might sit him this week. I haven't heard much about Herbert's injury.
He had a long
I
break.
I know
though.
he has. Yeah,
I think he's playing. I think that it was just like a bruised rib or something.
it was cartilage. Like
Yeah.
he messed up some cartilage on his ribs. Looked pretty scary at first. I thought I was like, oof, because he had that rollout where he just wouldn't even run
Yeah,
for
he's like-
4th
he's
and
like,
1.
you gotta, throw it out.
It was 3rd and 1, and he could have just ran like a yard and slid, and he just threw it out of bounds. It was just like, well, you don't see that. You don't see that from Herbert much.
Yeah.
But if Mahomes gets hit like that, it's a flag.
You'd think it'd be a flag for Herbert too, though, because he's.
It should be.
I think a few of those hits were a little unnecessary. Like the ball's out, and they're just they're hitting him as hard as they can, and then throwing him to the ground. It's like, I know it's football, and I'm not saying that that's something that shouldn't happen.
It's just- it's
It
gonna happen
happens,
anyways,
but
though.
it's just sometimes it's like, come on, when you do it 4 times in the 3rd quarter, really. Speaking of the Chiefs, you got the Chiefs at 2. Mahomes is Mahomes. That defense has actually looked pretty good. They've got both their corners they drafted look good. Their linebackers are great. Chris Jones, we all know about him. On the offensive side, their whole offense, Mahomes has spread the ball around a lot more this year. It's been nice.
Yeah, we thought it was just going to be force feeding Kelsey.
Really, I expected to see for Kelsey to get a lot more targets, and he really hasn't changed. The offense is almost the exact same.
Yeah.
So. And then, of course, Bills at 1, back-to-back 2021 playoff teams. They beat them by 20, so the Bills look good.
They're definitely the team to beat right now.
They're 100% the team to beat right now. The Dolphins play them this week.
They're the most loaded roster in the league by far.
I could see the Dolphins getting beat by 20, or it could be in a good game, because they're in their own division. Divisional games are usually close, even when it's a good and a bad team. That seems to happen. We'll see.
Imagine if the
Yeah.
Dolphins won.
So,
It could happen.
so another thing I want to say is who is your most likely candidate on this top 10 list to jump up in the rankings, and who's the most likely to fall down?
I think the Ravens could jump up.
I think the Niners are the most likely to drop out with that Trey injury.
Yeah.
And jump up. I could see the Eagles jumping up into that top 3. I could see the Vikings, if they have a really good game, jumping up into that
I
top
can see the
5.
Ravens dropping out of the top 10.
So,
Ravens?
Yeah.
Personally, play
personally,
this week,
No, I don't know.
Patriots? No,
The Jets?
Ravens. The Patriots. The
Oh.
Patriots.
That could be a pretty good game.
I think the one that will jump up maybe is the Bucks.
The Rams
Yeah.
are jumping up for me. The Rams will.
And then I can see the Dolphins falling out.
Almost like
It's
the
just
Falcons on the
Yeah.
Rams could drop out.
I can see the Dolphins falling out just because we got to see if they can keep up what they did last week. Really,
Bucks could jump up to number 1.
Yeah,
if
they could.
figure
Yeah,
it out.
yeah. With that, as good as that defense is, they really
I would say
They
that
made Jameis Winston look like a 5th-round rookie quarterback.
I would still say
He's
the
a good
Bucks are
quarterback.
the team to beat in the NFC at this point.
The-
Even though we have the Eagles,
The Eagles,
above
the
them.
Eagles and the Vikings, they're both very, very good. But the Bucks are the team that's been
They've
in
been there the last 3
postseason,
years.
the past
Yeah.
2 or 3 seasons or whatever. And the Eagles and Vikings, they're both very good, but they were both non-playoff. Oh no, the Eagles made the playoffs, but
Yeah.
I think the Packers could jump up. They're not on this list, but I think they could jump up to like that
Yeah.
They could get
10 to 7 range, something like that.
So we'll move on to
Yeah,
we have
things out.
contenders or pretenders. So we have the Bills. I think we all usually agree they're
Contenders.
100%
I would say
contenders.
Bills,
Yeah.
Bucks. I was giving contenders. There's 2-0 teams. Dolphins. I don't know.
Contenders.
I'm gonna say,
If 2 is consistent.
I'm going to say pretenders.
Their defense just doesn't excite me.
just
really.
because I don't think they're a pretender like in this case, but I don't think they're a contender either. So I'm going to agree with Dallas and go pretenders.
They could have a Cinderella playoff run.
They could.
They really could, or they
Yeah,
could,
like-
or they could have a
Bengals
fall
run
apart
last year.
kind of thing. Yeah, Chiefs and Eagles, we're all going to say contenders there, and Giants. I think we mutually agree that they're pretenders. Like, I think they're not. I don't think they're bad at any stretch, but I don't know if they're going to make.
I don't know if
the
the Eagles are contenders.
I was going to say, I think the Eagles
Eagles.
are pretenders. I don't think they're going to be able to keep up with what they're doing.
I'm no contenders there.
I'll agree
They
with
look
you
good.
on
Because
that.
I'm going to stick with contenders.
Me too.
Because one hurt
I think they look great.
Hurts gets hurt on like one run or something, and I think everything can fall apart. And that defense is getting pretty old. I think.
I definitely agree with what you guys.
It's too early to tell.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with you with what you guys say, but because we've seen teams like start out exactly like this and fall apart, and we've seen teams like do this and be great. So
Yeah.
I feel like it could go either way.
pretty
Yeah. And then again, it's only week 2, so there's no
Too
way to
early to
tell.
tell.
Yeah.
So for slump or dump, is the team in a slump or are they just bad? So Panthers, I'm gonna go dump. I think they're bad.
I'm gonna go slump. I think they got the potential, not a playoff potential, but they're gonna. I think they can be in games.
And like we said before, I mean, like I guess I believe in Baker. I mean, we were talking about it last night. Like, what is there to believe in? But we'll see. Falcons, I like them, but I think I'm gonna go slump because I don't think they're bad enough to say dump. So I'm gonna go slump.
They almost beat the Rams.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go dump.
I mean, they have hung around 2 teams, so
Yeah. Bengals
slump
We all
for
know-
sure.
we all
We
know
all know
it's
that's
a
a
slump.
slump. And then the AFC South, that's a
Dump.
whole dump. The whole division's a dump.
it's a
Besides the
dumpster
Jags.
fire.
I think the Jags have the best chance.
The Jags are the best team in that division.
Yes, they'll win your division.
So, we'll see what Mike Vrabel can do. I mean, maybe he can do something and figure it out, but I doubt it. I mean, the Colts, I think they can. If
I'm
they
more
give
worried-
JT more touches, they might be able to be in a slump.
Yeah, I'm more worried about Frank Reich's job than Mike Vrabel's.
Well, Mike Vrabel will be fine. I'm not like he would have to have 2 bad seasons before he was on the hot seat. How could we have been under
This
him?
could be Frank Reich's last season, honestly.
yeah.
He hasn't made the playoffs
Yeah.
since Phil Rivers. So
That Matt
They shouldn't have
Ryan.
traded Carson Wentz, man.
It's looking bad now because Matt Ryan looks like a bottom 5
Yeah,
starting
he just
quarterback.
looks bad.
I thought he's got a good year, but he's really good. He's below his track.
All right, on to the spicy one. Would you rather Dak Prescott or Rain Prescott?
Yeah.
Bummer.
All right, Dallas, are you doing the honors?
Yeah, I'll do it. So first off, Jalen Hurts.
Hurts is
I would say Jalen Hurts is better.
Jalen Hurts has improved so much as a passer.
Yeah.
He's really probably not even that much worse of a passer.
I'll go with Jalen Hurts as well.
Yeah, he's got that Lamar type feel of an offense almost where
Yeah.
he's got all the eyes on him, so receivers will get open more. He's
Yep.
one of the best dual threats in the league, so I would go Hurts with that.
And then Kyler, I mean, you could almost say the exact same thing you said
Yeah.
for Hurts. One of the best dual threats in the
Yeah.
league.
I would
Great
go-
passer. He's that Cardinals team. People are starting to underrate Kyler now because right now with injuries and suspensions, the team's so talent deprived. But when they get all their receivers back, they'll be fine.
It was a great win against the Raiders. 'cause
It was a great win.
I think the Raiders are in a slump. I think they'll start to win games. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go Kyler with that one also, as of right now. But, so number 3, Carson Wentz. I'm going to go Dak. Just,
It's closer than you would want it to be.
yeah.
That's
Dak has the rushing upside. I don't think it's by much.
When you look at
But
those,
it's definitely a little bit of an upside.
when
you
you,
know?
when
He's
you look
definitely
at
better throwing on the run too.
and when you look at those two, you're not focusing on the run. Obviously, when you look at the two, you're not
They're
not relying on them
actually.
to run. But
If Carson Wentz keeps this up, his production, I'll take Carson Wentz every day.
I'm gonna take Dak now, but I think this could be different in 5 weeks.
I'm gonna take Wentz.
I'll take Dak.
I'm gonna take Dak. I mean,
Dak's had a way better roster and he's underperformed.
Dak had a really good year last year.
I agree with that.
Wentz was going to lead them to a Super Bowl. Dak has never looked that good.
CD, Amari Cooper, Dalton Schultz, Zeke, and Tony Pollard, and then
Just a
where'd you
struggle.
guys finish last year? In the wild card round.
Yeah.
So
You put Carson Wentz at quarterback, I think you have a little bit more success. I'm not talking 3-4 games. I'm saying you beat the Niners, but beat the Niners, you lose to the Packers.
That's a tough one. If Wentz can keep playing like this, then
Number 4, you got Tua. I'm still going to go Dak.
I'm gonna go Dak for now, but if Tua has another game or even a half, even the same amount of completion percentage, 3 touchdowns against the Bills this weekend, I'm taking Tua.
Tua is definitely on the rise, but I'm still going to take Dak right now.
I'll take Dak for now. But we'll see.
It's because you look at the stats last year, he was phenomenal. Obviously, like those picks to go down 2 or 3, but
10 picks is still
104
really good.
QBR,
How much he threw the ball? You know?
4,500 yards passing, almost 77.
I guess I'll take
70%
Dak. I hate
completion.
Dak Prescott.
Yeah, number 5, Matthew Stafford.
Matt Stafford.
Stafford for sure.
I'm gonna go Dak. I don't like Stafford.
I'm gonna go Dak too.
What has Dak done that Stafford hasn't done better?
Doesn't turn the ball over nearly as much.
But he's a better passer and he's a
Or
better
Dak's better at
playmaker.
everything. They won the Super Bowl last year.
When you talk about
hold
talent on your roster, I would say.
Hold on.
the Rams-
If you put
So you're saying that Matthew Stafford could win a Super Bowl with the Cowboys roster?
Dak Prescott couldn't win a Super Bowl with
the Rams roster.
Rams.
I think he could.
I don't know.
I think he could.
I think
could.
Stafford's better by a good amount.
Good amount?
I don't
Like
know.
right now.
I don't think Stafford's that much of a worse rusher than Dak.
It's not about
I
rushing.
don't-
Better passer.
I don't care about rushing with a quarterback when we're talking about Matthew Stafford and Dak Prescott. I'm focusing on their throwing.
Well, then
Stafford's
Stafford
smarter.
is better by a mile.
I don't think so.
Stafford's better. He's way better arm. He's way more accurate.
Way more accurate than he should be throwing 20 picks a year.
216.
He threw 14. I thought it was 14.
This is like 18, I thought.
No,
It was a lot.
It wasn't more than 16.
No, I think it was 16 because he led the league. He tied with Lawrence. So
But I also-
6 more picks, but what he threw 41 touchdowns or something like that,
Yeah,
and they won the Super Bowl.
Okay. I think Dak.
Okay,
I think Dak could
he
do
won
the
the
same
Super
thing.
Bowl.
I think Dak could do the same
No,
thing.
he couldn't.
Jared Goff could. So why can't Dak?
Jared Goff didn't win him a Super
He
Bowl.
won a
Goff didn't
Super
win a
Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Down to the NFC Championship.
But we're talking about a Super Bowl here
They won the Super Bowl.
with him. They're not gonna. They didn't win a Super
They
Bowl.
beat
Jared
the
Goff.
They beat the Niners. You guys lost to the Niners in the wild card.
I think Dak can do the same thing.
I think Dak could win a Super Bowl. I think that Stafford could have went farther in the playoffs and probably the NFC Championship with the Cowboys roster.
I don't know.
I think Stafford's better by a good amount.
I think the problem on our team is coaching because we have bad
But you're trying to say
later on.
that Mike McCarthy is a better coach than Ron Rivera?
No.
Yes. Did you not say
Yeah,
that?
you said that.
said that.
Yeah.
When we were arguing over
Right
what
now?
team was better,
No,
the Cowboys or the Skins. Excuse me, the Commanders.
Okay.
All right, number 6.
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
I'd go Joe
Joe
Burrow.
Burrow.
He's just he's in a slump right now. He'll get out of it. Hopefully that appendix isn't hurting him too much.
Yeah.
But
It's not close.
I don't think it's very close either. But okay, number 7, Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson.
Dak.
I'm gonna go Dak.
Dak.
Russell Wilson looks awful
He looks
this
bad.
We've said it. I'm not a
No, I
Russell
think
Wilson
that's fine. He
believer,
looks bad this year.
but he's looked bad
year.
this
We threw
year.
like 35% on
And
Sunday.
beat the-
He was.
I'll take Russell Wilson. He's the veteran quarterback. He's more experienced. He could do a lot with those weapons, I think, and in that system, he would be better than Dak. So that's just my opinion.
Looking at it, if you put Dak on the Broncos, I think the Broncos are a playoff team. So
I think the Broncos are still a playoff team.
I think they could still be.
I don't think so. They look pretty bad.
Just gotta get
Yeah,
hack it out of there.
they're bad.
What are they?
I think
Are they
that-
1-1?
1-1, and they barely beat the Texans.
I think that has to do with some with coaching, though.
It's a new quarterback.
Yeah.
You guys are overreacting about the Broncos.
I agree with
No.
that.
I don't
Also.
think so.
No,
I don't think so.
I knew they weren't going to be good.
I
Okay.
put them at 6 and
2
11.
games.
And next we got,
5 and 12.
we got
I said they're going to go 5-12.
I said
yeah.
6 and 11. So
we got Derek Carr.
Derek Carr.
Derek Carr by a good amount.
I'm gonna go Dak. 'Cause
that's tough.
they're very similar.
I'm gonna go
I
Derek
don't think
Carr.
they
If you
are.
put Dak on the Raiders last year, that team is bottom 5. Dak is not a good enough leader to hold that team together. I don't think with the receivers they had. I mean, you can't
the
win.
leadership is in question. That's Derek Carr.
You get Derek Carr at offensive. See how bad his offensive line. That's bottom 5. It's
So
bad.
who was the best receiver on the Raiders last year?
Hunter Renfro.
Outside Hunter Renfro, what 89? I don't even remember what his name is because Waller was
Ryan
hurt.
Edwards.
Yeah,
Ryan
he's not even on the team anymore.
Yeah.
I just think if he had your offensive line, he'd do
Yeah.
awesome.
I feel like he'd be very, very good on the
Okay,
Cowboys.
I see it. I'm
But
still
you
gonna
still
go
think-
Dak, but because
That's tough though.
Dak struggles with a good offensive line.
He struggles, and
his
he
offensive line
struggles
hasn't
with
been
great
good in
receivers.
3 years.
They're bad this year, but they were good last year and the year before that.
Their offensive line has been banged up for the last 3 years.
But they still play. They're still pretty.
Still
They're still
10
a
times
dominant
better than
line.
the Raiders. Raiders' offensive line is awful.
It's awful.
It was bad last year because they've got
Yeah.
rid of everyone. The 2020 Raiders offensive line was actually pretty good.
You see against the Chargers.
Colton Miller's the only thing holding that line
He's the only
together.
person left.
Yeah.
They just have that Derek Carr has no time to throw the ball. You know, he's not very mobile, but
Yeah.
he's a pocket passer. But when you give him no time to throw the ball, it's just like Burrow. They're not going to do good. So
Yeah. Next, Kirk Cousins.
Dak.
I'm gonna go Dak.
Kirk.
Very similar.
I mean, they're literally the same quarterback.
Dak's just a
They're
better,
the exact
Dak's
same quarterback.
He's a better runner,
Yeah.
though, so that's why I'm taking him.
I just
Dak
Dak.
can throw a deep route.
Dak can throw off the.
I think Kirk can
Roll out better.
They've been throwing those deep routes to Justin Jefferson for a minute.
Yeah, but he's not running.
Okay. Next, Jimmy Garoppolo. I think it's
Dak.
obvious that it's Dak.
Yeah.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Okay.
Jimmy Garoppolo's led a team to the NFC Championship and a Super Bowl, so
You can say like
Jimmy
Ryan
G.
Tannehill did that though.
he didn't do it. Not to the Super Bowl or an NFC Championship. You mean Derrick Henry? Derrick Henry led us to the AFC Championship. Tannehill's stats in that playoff run was like 8 for 9 for 70 yards. So
But I'm gonna go Dak.
We'll go Dak.
no, Dak's the better quarterback,
Dak
but
by a little.
but I think it's actually kind of close. I
kinda
like Jimmy G.
It's not good how like
Um,
these close
I
to
think
the-
you throw Dak in the Niners offense. I think that they're 12 and 5.
I think they're
13
about the
team.
same. I think record wise both teams would be about the same. But I think
I think the Niners would be much better.
Yeah.
I don't think much better, but I think it
much better.
I think
Just-
Dak would do good enough.
just because that offense, it doesn't rely on the quarterback making huge
It
plays.
really doesn't.
So
It's kind of it's built. It's a bit. It's not. I don't want to say built for a rookie quarterback, but it's a lot of short stuff. So.
I think Dak maybe wins you 1 or 2 more games because he hits a deep post to Debo or something, but that's it. But and next or last is Jameis Winston. This one's too close for my
Dak.
comfort, but I'm gonna go Dak.
Dak.
I don't think Dak. I mean, he was bad. He was horrible against the Bucks too, but not as bad as
Jameis
Winston
Winston.
was.
I think Winston can be better. Honestly, he was.
Give me crab legs.
He's what top? Was he the top pick?
He was the number one.
He's the number
one
one pick. Mariota was
Yeah.
2.
He was really good in college,
Busts.
and he has the arm
The Winston's-
talent. Just
Yeah.
I mean, Winston's
he's
not-
got to see if he can put
I
it all
don't think it's
together.
I don't think it's that close.
I don't think it's that close, but like, I think Winston
Dak
has
has
the
put up the
potential.
stats, but
I don't see it.
it's like Kirk stats.
What has
like,
Winston really done though to be better than Dak? Is what I'm trying to
I
say.
think the Saints would have been really good last year if he didn't get hurt.
Really good.
I like James. Yes, really good.
It's because their defense was top 5.
They have a great defense.
He's kind of just average. He's just an average Joe.
Right now, he's like
We'll
the
see.
definition of an average quarterback.
Yeah.
I think he's above average.
Maybe a little bit.
I think Tannehill's the definition of an average quarterback.
He's below average.
I think James.
He's not
Kirk.
average.
So average is 16.
I think Jameis and Kirk are like a little bit above average. You know, everyone wants to say they're average. The stats.
Kirk Cousins is definitely above average.
Tannehill's below average.
He is
An
below
average quarterback
Don't ever
is-
say
Average is
average.
Average is like
20,
15
21
to
touchdowns
17.
is average.
I would say
37 touchdowns
15
above
to 17.
Yeah, Kirk threw like 33 last year. So you said Ryan Tannehill's average. He's not an average quarterback.
He's an average quarterback.
He's not. Did you see the way he's played?
With an awful offensive line, he's fine. He's average. You know, he's not,
10 points?
He's not average.
he's average.
He's not average.
He is average.
He's not average.
So you're telling me that Kirk Cousins is an average
I
quarterback?
say he's a little bit above average. He's above average. But Ryan Tannehill's below average.
Then what's average?
I'd take every guy on this list over Ryan Tannehill.
I would say the 3 average quarterbacks on this list
Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
are Jameis Winston, Jimmy Garoppolo, and Tua. Are the 3 average quarterbacks on this list. And even Dak. You could throw him in there.
Who? Garoppolo, Winston, who?
And Tua.
You can say
He's
even.
not average.
And you can even throw Dak.
Well,
in
Average
there.
quarterback doesn't throw 6 touchdowns.
Well, Mitch
Mitch
did.
Oh, did he?
Any given Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what we're saying. Like
That's not the same thing.
Winston is like the average quarterback, and Winston is better than Tannehill. So
Yeah.
By
He's
decent-
not
by-
far from it. I'm not saying
Right.
his level's better than him, but
it is.
If he's as average as you guys are making him out to be, I don't think it's by a lot.
Tannehill's like 24.
so is Tannehill better than Winston?
No.
Okay.
I don't. But I like James Winston.
Okay.
That shouldn't have anything to do
Winston's
with it.
like the definition of average. So
That does have something to do with it.
he's right below him.
I would put James Winston above more quarterbacks than you think.
So you think? Do you think Jimmy G's better than Tannehill?
Yes.
Yeah.
Similar, but Jimmy G's better.
He's just a
They're
better
similar,
version.
but Jimmy G is more consistent.
He's just a better passer.
Jimmy G's not an interception machine.
He's a better passer.
What way?
He's not an interception magnet.
You guys have
Where's
you
Tannehill?
guys
Oh, how is he not? He threw like 21 touchdowns to 14 interceptions is not good.
Yeah, okay, that's one season. Usually he doesn't throw more than 5.
Yeah,
Or-
he had one good year, and that doesn't.
3 straight. With
Three
below 6
straight?
picks. 2019, 2020, and 2018. He
You
didn't
get
throw more than 5 picks.
the Niners and the
Like,
Titans
like
have
half
such
a
a
year.
similar offense also.
Yeah, they did, especially like 2020.
So basically
I think that's pretty close. I mean,
Yeah.
if you switch spots, I don't think it really changes anything. I think Jimmy Garoppolo would be fine on our offense. I think
Derrick
Tannehill would be a
Henry's
little bit
washed.
worse, and Derrick Henry is washed.
Titans suck.
They do.
But we'll see.
Career's coming
Yeah.
through their head.
We'll definitely
Well-
see. I can only say so much. I mean, we've started bad before, and Mike Vrabel's a great coach, so we'll see what happens.
I don't know. It's,
Coach of the year, he's a great coach.
Harold Landry getting hurt too. That hurt a lot.
Terry Lawan's out.
Ah.
We'll see what happens. I mean,
It's going to be a fight of who can score less points, the Colts or the Titans.
who can get injured the most?
The Jags should be.
Who you guys taking, the Titans or the Colts? I'll take the Colts.
I still think we're
I'm gonna take the Giants. The Colts have looked awful.
Okay, but the Colts, I think.
How do you get blanked by the Jags?
Well, the Jags are not
The
bad.
Jags.
The Jags are better than the Cowboys.
No, they're not.
No, they're
No,
not.
they're not.
Yeah, they are.
The Jags
They are
had
not.
the Jags had like one of the worst defenses last year. They didn't make
Their defense is
They didn't make any
that great
significant
this year.
changes.
I don't
They
think
drafted
Trayvon
Trayvon
Walker.
Walker.
So good.
It's
So
not-
mid. First overall pick is so mid.
Yeah.
They definitely they picked up a lot of people on the defense. And I
Christian
think-
Kirk is looking good too. He's looking.
And that's
really
what is they paid this crazy amount. Everyone's haha Jags made
looks
fun,
good.
but he
I mean, you have money
He
to
doesn't look
spend.
bad.
It's like a top 12 receiver.
I mean, if you want him that bad, you pay what you have to pay to get him.
Better
I
than
guess.
I just think that Jags win was a statement. 24-0. That's a statement.
That's a statement. But I want to see who they play. I want to figure out who they play. You look up, see who they play this week.
I don't know.
Because that'll be a telltale for me. The Jaguars.
The Jags are. I think they can really win that division. They know it too.
Yeah,
Lawrence is looking a lot better than last year too.
I think in the end, it's too early to tell anything.
Yeah, so I think this week will be a telltale. If they can stay in a game, if they can stay in the game with the Chargers,
They beat the Chargers.
Who's playing the Chargers?
the Jags. If they can stay in it, like if they can keep it close with the
I feel like
Chargers.
that could low-key just be like a close game for no reason.
Depends on how Herbert looks, though. If Herbert's like injured, if he doesn't play,
I think he's a freak. He'll be
You see Chase Daniels, fourth starter of this career.
Chase Daniels just goes crazy.
Legends.
Well, all right. you can watch last week's podcast. It'll be up here somewhere. Subscribe. Check out our TikTok.
We'll link our TikTok in the description.
We'll see you all next week.